Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to the Tuesday show we do where we talk about whatever HBK's got up his sleeve. I'm Alex.
What
this is Kate.
is up his sleeves? He's got the weirdest sleeves.
I don't know, man. Does he have sleeves? I don't know. He could be shirtless. We don't see him on TV, which is why he had to appoint somebody to take over his job who has no qualifications for it other than being the daughter of a famous person.
They gave us William Regal and they took him away.
It was the unkindest cut of all, Kate.
That was so mean.
I thought he was coming back for good, but he just said, no, I'm leaving. And I'm leaving my job in the very incapable hands of Ava, no last name. Oh, it's the worst thing ever.
Not even no last name. That was a personal attack on you and me. That one was. That was like, you know what's going to really get under there?
They took her very stupid last name away from her when she was part of a cult. And then when she left the cult, she didn't get her very stupid last name back. How can you have a GM who's just single-named person? You can't. They're not going to be in the phone book. How are you going to, if you call them up and ask them, hey, I would like to request a trade from this brand to this brand. You can't do it because you can't get their number because you can't look up Ava in the phone book, Kate.
Do you look up people in the phone book real often?
If I don't have their number and I happen to live in the same municipality as them, sure.
We're in the same decade of a decade ago. But all that to say, this episode ended with a grown woman under a table and a contract signing, and no one knew she was there. We've got a lot to talk about on your NXT post show for January 23rd. This was a wacky one. Please get in your super chats and your humper chats at humperchats.com. We have our puns going already. They're streaming Netflixy crazy puns along the lines of like streaming and TV stuff. You're going to read a lot more about what happened on FightfulSelect.com if you so subscribe. But obviously, monster news breaking today that WWE Raw sold just the Raw entity to Netflix for billions of dollars, $5 billion over 10 years. More news on that with, of course, The Rock stepping into power in the TKO position. Clarification around the fact that Kazuchika Okada has not signed to this very brand. And as much as I want to see him running around a football field with Von Wagner, I don't. So I was okay with that news. But some clarity from Sean on Fightful Select. There's a ton of contract news coming, guys. 2024 is a loaded year. You're going to want the most reliable information possible. We found that out earlier today, in fact. So subscribe to FightfulSelect.com for just $5. And you know what else you're going to get back there? Alternative post shows like the Royal Rumble post show. If you want to see something other than Sean talking by himself on the main, go on FightfulSelect.com. Alex will be there with Mirror Alex this weekend. Maybe from me. I'm on a boat. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But there's going to be a ton of fun stuff coming your way on Fightful Select. It's a really, really big contract year. If you need some clarity around what is accurate and inaccurate, and you're not pretending you don't know what the word expected means, or that you don't know what that means, go on over to Fightful Select and subscribe. You'll also get me and Alex doing Raw reviews where we say things like the purple goth kids had their moment in the sun when talking about Judgment Day. So
the purple goth kids have to get off the swing set and let somebody else have a turn.
Yeah, it's time.
That's what I said.
It's time. Yeah. But head over to FightfulSelect.com. But leave a thumbs up on this video if you would, too. It helps people find us in the algorithms. But Alex, it started off so promising.
It did.
I don't want to forget how great the opener was, because the rest of the episode was
the opener was great.
Yeah. It was a pay-per-view quality match on free TV for sure.
Listen, Kate, you know my feelings, and I'm sure most of the chat does too. I'm not a big let's put two singles wrestlers who've got nothing going on. let's put them together and do a tag team thing, because honestly, just two tag team wrestlers, even the ones who hate each other, are a better tag team than tag teams who've been tagging together for years and years and years. That was Vince McMahon's view of the tag division for years and years and years. I've always been against it. Here's how good this match was. I want both of these teams to be permanent. And I want both of these teams to be future tag title holders. One in NXT and the other on the main roster, because for the love of God, call up Bron and he can bring Baron with him. And those two guys can beat the Judgment Day, because I don't think DIY is doing it.
You don't think DIY is winning? Oh, no. On the other side. That's their theme song.
On the other side of Vengeance Day, please call up Bron and Baron Corbin. They're not going to win the Dusty.
No.
Because Trick and Mello are going to win it. And then later on that night, they're going to be in a triple threat against each other. And one of them is going to pin the other one to become the champion. And they're going to immediately rescind having won the Dusty and won't actually want a title shot at the tag titles.
No, why would the winner of a tag tournament want to be in a tag team? That's just silly.
I mean, that's what it looks like they're booking currently. So anyway, I don't want to get too far ahead. This match was excellent.
This was
excellent. This was an excellent tag team match. If you did not see it, this is one of the very, 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 very few times I will tell you, you need to seek out a match from a regular episode of NXT. You have to find this match, watch it. It's great. I think that Baron and Bron have really good chemistry together. I always said this. When it looked like, I was like, well, maybe they don't see Bron as this world beater that I thought they did. What other reason would they have for not calling him up 2 years ago? And I was like, well, maybe his ceiling is like the very best hot tag guy in the company. Just like
maybe the world, yeah.
Maybe the world. A dude who just comes in and is a ball of energy and is throwing literal backdrop cutters. He threw up Axiom, who did a full flip, and then he threw him up over his shoulder. He dropped down into a cutter. I mean, I don't even know how you would say that. Like, that's just so good. I love the finish. A mile a minute, amazing stuff from all the guys. Good. Nathan Frazer turns around and gets absolutely torn in half by a Braun Breaker spear. It is the best spear in the business. It's probably the best spear I've ever seen. The only thing that comes close to it is Goldberg in 97, 98, when he actually cared and gave a crap. But like, he gets so much velocity and force behind that spear. Braun Breaker's spear is like nothing I've seen. It's so good.
It's crazy how explosive it is off of, like, when it's a running spear, it's insane. But like, he doesn't have to get up a lot of, like, it doesn't have to be from the other side of the ring when he hits it for it to have that much impact. Like, he's able to snap one pretty quick. And that's really, really cool. I thought this match was a blast. I don't know what these guys are doing here, man. Certainly feels like Carmelo's getting called up soon. I wouldn't be shocked if Bron was in the Rumble. But, I mean, it's long documented on the show. We are undefeated about when we think people should be called up and who's getting called up and when. We have never been wrong, ever. But I feel like this is what's going on with Roxanne too. I understand the developmental need to see if somebody can work face and heel. I also think, genuinely, I think a lot of the issue has been Hunter's in charge. No, Vince is in charge. No, Hunter's in charge. No, Vince is in charge. I'm hoping now that there's a cohesive plan moving forward that maybe these things are done with a little bit more reasonable of a time frame here. But at the same time, they did a bunch of call-ups during the draft. Like, where is Apollo Crews? Like, what is happening to that guy? Like, so I long have said that like Triple H, for me, Triple H gets like a year of arrange the chessboard how you want it with the pieces that you want, and then let's see what you're made of kind of thing. I think that got hastened a little bit. This Rumble to Mania season, I think, is the first true test of like a Triple H era. But we need to see what that looks like in the NXT era, because there's just nothing left for these guys to do. There's nothing left for Bron to prove. There's nothing left for Carmelo to prove, both in NXT really and as developmental talents. Like there's just not that much more for them to develop. I'm wondering if they're running into the thing of Bron is like 2 inches taller than me, and he is an absolute force to be reckoned with. So I wonder if they're like, man, just a guy who's like 6'5" is going to tower over him. That's not the best aesthetic, but if he's in a tag team, like you said, like
the perfect guy for him to tag with. I mean, I love him in Baron. Honestly, I think that there's some legs there, but like the perfect guy for him to tag with is Chad Gable, who is shorter
oh my God,
than shorter than Bron, but they're both little dudes comparatively. But one, though, like feels like he's just got so much more mass than the other one, while not being comedy fat beard guy. Like there's a difference. If you wanted to reclaim a little bit of what the original American Alpha was, like Bron doing the Jason Jordan stuff, and Chad Gable going back to his youth, that'd be a really, really great thing for the both of them. If you don't have
what
plans,
would also be fun.
Yeah.
You know how we just made up the fact that the SmackDown tag belt is going to be a trios division? You know how we just made that up?
Right.
Having the Creeds, who are not doing anything, and Bron, they were a really fun trio, man. If they moved over to SmackDown and we're a trio, and it's like the Creeds looking for a third, and they call it Bron, that could be a whole bunch of fun. But they're also kind of getting away from the caveat of a shorter guy. Like, look at what they're doing with Pete Dunne. Like, he's not Butch anymore, and he's starting to go after Gunther. So hopefully we're getting away from him.
He tweeted a picture. That is not him going after. That is not them booking him to go after Gunther. They're not on the same show. Let's slow down.
I do think at some point. Otherwise, why do you tweet that, right?
I
Unless it's to get dorks like us to be like,
yeah,
it's happening, and then they work themselves
into
the shoe. Well played, Pete Dunne.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what he probably did? He probably went into Paul Levesque's office, shook his hand, and then just held it for an extra second and bent a finger back and was like, "No, I was Butch for like 2 years, right?
Yeah. Now
I'm Pete Dunne. You're going to give me a title shot." And then he was like, well, I don't know if we could. And then Pete Dunne just broke his finger and he was like, okay, eventually we'll get there.
Right. I thought this match was a hell of a lot of fun, and I really do also love Nathan Frazer and Axiom together. I think they could even if they tweak the entrance, it's the coolest entrance in the company. If they just have them start in the back, like raising up like they did. Like, I don't think they actually had a Cody Vader back there, but just raising up in the mist and then sprint past the camera without like running 3 steps and stopping and waving. In the little strobe effect, if they were just sprinting, it would look like it's like the Flash, just right past them. I think that was cool. I really like these guys. They'd be really fun. They already have shown they have a really good rapport with the backstage stuff. They could be a really great thing for like the kids to get, because all the kids love the undersized, not just like if Bron is undersized according to them. Nathan Frazer and Axiom are undersized.
No, like the Ricochets of the world. And
exactly. The kids love the superhero Spider-Man types. These two guys are both the Flash. Like,
I am kids in this scenario. Like, I love I love that. I agree with you. Yeah.
I think it's really cool to see that both of these teams I think and I hope have legs after this tournament. And we'll see what develops.
This was a blast of a match. And I liked the tandem offense too. I liked the finish a lot of not only the 1,000,000 miles an hour, but the end of days followed by the spear looked really good. Like this was, it started so good.
Right. JW Pringle says, amazing it, Alex. Killer Kate. Amazing it, Alex. I'm it. Amazing it, Alex. Killer Kate. SGS Universe. Luis! Anything happening in the wrestling world today? Nothing. Nothing happened today.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
I want to talk about your dad.
That got real. That went 0 to 60 real fast. I'm assuming it's because he sent in a super chat, though.
He didn't. I wish he had. It would have been perfect.
He didn't? I thought I saw it earlier.
I don't. He did. Listen. It's a Netflix pun. That's what he said in. He says, I need Linda to call it the Netflix.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
The Netflix.
Do you even know how to get the Netflix on your screen? We'll get there.
I don't. He says, anywho, happy birthday day. He says, happy birthday day to me. Love your SGS. Wow, Jimmy Pringle, are you drunk on your birthday? Because the typing is not great.
Either that or Luis is all over the place. One or the other. Maybe Luis is drunk. He deserves it if he is.
Could be.
Moderating Fightful chats, he deserves it.
Mm-hmm. One Man of Steel says he's calling you Kate Swift. He says awesome singing.
Oh, thank you. Miles Katedy, I think is what that was attempting to be,
good.
but
that's good.
I'll take it.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says, I just need Kate to know she's losing the game a lot tonight.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No,
Quite a news day. LO,
you're just
SGS
referring to Triple H. I'm fine.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's right. Lord Jackson says, RIP, get the flick out of here. You will be missed. It is definitely going on hiatus. We will see if it resurfaces in some fashion elsewhere. We'll see.
It might get repackaged. Not like Lacey Evans levels of being repackaged, but
Chi-Town Spurs making fun of me and my Milwaukee Bucks saying LOL Doc Rivers. Listen, when you fire a coach who is currently has the second best record in the NBA during his first season and hire the very worst playoff coach in modern NBA history, and it can be considered an objective, huge upgrade, that will tell you how bad our former coach was. And he was bad. So, Doc Rivers will coach us to a second round exit. I do not believe it would be any better with the guy who they just fired. So, it is what it is. But thank you for making fun of my Bucks. So it's official, Kate. Ava, no last name, is the youngest GM in WWE history. She walked out of Shawn Michaels' office, who again, we are not allowed to see on TV anymore.
No.
I don't know why, but we're just not allowed to see him on TV. Walked out of his office and said, wow, what a meeting. That was the inflection. That was the level of emotion. She just got named the youngest GM. She went from being some member of a cult to a girl who hangs out in Shawn Michaels' office sometimes, to the youngest general manager on screen in WWE history. And her reaction to that was, wow, what a meeting.
I mean, in her defense, if this was the product you were going to be the GM of.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe she's not like so excited because there's a woman that hides under tables during contract signings and there's nothing she can do about it.
Yeah. So she then William Regal comes out and he says that was a very productive meeting indeed.
William Regal's back, both
No,
on
he's
this
not.
show and on this show.
All I have to say, because he's like,
This was so mean. This is the meanest thing they've ever done. This is the meanest thing anyone's ever done to me, and I'm a woman on the internet. This was so mean to be like, William Regal's back, and they came out of a GM meeting, and the answer is not. And William Regal is taking over from here.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
So she says, thank you for speaking up for me in there or whatever. It's like, I know you'll do a fantastic job. Of course, I have nothing to base that on. But I know you'll do a fantastic job. Listen.
He also was like, this place is very important to me. Don't mess it up. And I was like, oh, William, the things that have been done in your absence compared to when you were around with Samoa Joe beating bitches up.
We'll see, man. Okay, man. I have to be honest while being as careful about this as possible. Do you know how bad the Rock's kid has to be? They won't let her wrestle at then they make her like the GM, but she's not like doesn't have experience that would be like anyone looking at this is like, well, she's the GM because she's the Rock's daughter. I don't like, what are we doing here? And
get it? Because the Rock was announced today, and then Ava Raine was announced.
And they're okay with that. They don't have any problem with it. So we'll see if she improves. But like her, like just talking not robotically on the microphone seems to be a challenge for her right now. And again, not everybody is cut out for this. I know we think all the time of like, oh, so-and-so's kid who used to be a professional athlete, his kid's a professional athlete. And so a lot of people just don't follow their parents in the footsteps.
Honestly, most. But the other thing is like, they just put her on TV so fast. Like it really feels like she's just not ready. And I feel like it's gotten better. We've seen it get better, but like she just doesn't. It doesn't seem like she. I guess it's like when you have this legacy that's injected into you, and you have a certain like expectation. They don't want to like keep that around in the PC for too long before pushing it out on television, but. Like the things that they've given her are, you're a GM, but no one ever mentioned you were a GM till this week, and you have absolutely no basis to be this. And you are in a cult that has changed multiple times due to circumstances beyond your control and has never made sense because you were kidnapping Braun Breaker's family for some reason and then letting them go. Like, if you're trying to raise somebody, I'm guessing, I don't know, but I would think like you want to start from a place of something that would feel accessible to give someone something to latch onto. These have been two very inaccessible things. And I think it is not fair to the talent to maybe like hotshot them into these things, or what it feels like kind of that you're putting handcuffs on them instead of helping them like grow wings and be really good at this, because this just isn't very good. And quite frankly, until Adam Pearce and especially Nick Aldis, there have been no good authority figures since William Regal left.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's not even like, who was the last female in a GM role? AJ Lee? Like it's rough. It's just rough.
Stephanie was like GM for like a hot minute on Raw.
That's true. Like the authority stuff was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, her and Shane. Well, that's cheating. Stephanie was great at everything. But it is as it is right now. It is not good, and I hope they give her the resources to get better, whatever that looks like, because it's not great.
Bohemian Bliss says William Regal showed up just to pull a Poochie the dog. I have to go. My planet needs me. If by planet you mean scouting internationally for cricket players. I don't know. They don't sign indie wrestlers anymore. I don't know. Whatever.
Yo, a cricket play. If Oba Femi can shot put a couch and be this good, I want to see some cricket players in NXT, please.
Jay Miller 3389 says, hopefully Regal passing the torch to Ava will result in taking over for Aldis on SmackDown at some point, so he can wrestle in some capacity. Aldis is going to wrestle in a Aldis. Listen, do not take this as gospel, but it really looks like they're going to pitch Aldis in a wrestling match, Mania maybe. Aldis versus Solo Sikoa absolutely could happen on the undercard of a Mania night. Because he is being very antagonistic toward the Bloodline. Roman obviously won't wrestle him, but Solo doesn't have anything to do. That's a thing they could easily do.
He's using his GM position to make sense of things, which is the worst thing you could do in WWE. But like the fact that he's using it to flex, like eventually someone is going to want to fight him about it, and it should be Solo Sikoa.
Yeah,
but he's been great. I really, really liked Nick Aldis on SmackDown. He's been really good.
JW Pringle says my iPad sucks when typing super chats, so that's why he's not drunk.
But
he says HBK could drive him to it.
Wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you under regular circumstances, but thanks for sending in extra money to clarify your typos.
Right. Yes, that's good.
I was still hoping it was Luis who was drunk. He's allowed to drink on the job. This isn't.
Yeah. Tyrone Kid says, imagine Baby Rocky owns NXT and her pops owns WWE. No.
I actually like what they have going on right now. Like, I sincerely really like the Nick Aldis stuff, and Adam Pearce is very dramatic, but I like him enough too. Like my issues with WWE have very little to do with the fact with who is in charge in the authority figure role. It used to be that there were nobody making matches or in an authority figure role. So this has been refreshing. And I just don't understand why like a gal in her early 20s or mid 20s, whatever she is your GM based on her experience of having been in a cult that fell apart. Like that feels not like a realistic candidate for that position.
Yeah. Jambeard says Bliss and Baron were co-GMs on Raw. I must have fallen asleep during those episodes. I do not remember that at all.
I don't remember that at all.
Tom the Valley says Die Rocky Die. I remember. Yeah, it was Man of Steel says Ava should change her name to Pebbles. And JW Pringle says Pebbles is GM? What? Nepotism much?
I mean, it was definitely like a wink and a nod to like, oh, The Rock is in charge. Let's make it official because she's just been the GM without any explanation to this point anyway. But I don't want to harp on the fact that like she's not great in the role, but it's also unrealistic that you would give a gal in her early 20s this role. Like it also creatively doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it like Luis bringing up the Sonya Deville was GM. She wasn't. She was a WWE official. They did not actually promote Adam Pearce to GM until an on-screen little thing that they did. And then they hired Nick Aldis as GM. Before it was just WWE officials.
Yeah, she was more like a conduit, not a decision maker. Yeah.
Hello, can you?
She was really good at it too.
Yeah, except for the stuff with Naomi.
No, that was not her fault, but that got bad.
No, that was bad. Jambeer says it was during his waiter vest days. I remember Corbin like doing the constable bit. I'm assuming it was during that time. I don't remember Alexa Bliss being co-GM.
Nor do I.
I don't. Not saying it didn't happen.
Corbin and
there's a lot of late teens Raw that just nope.
Dude, Drew was like, we were the dashing ones, and I was like, I have no idea what you're referencing.
Yeah.
I have no. He could have made up that tag team, and I would have been like, sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Backstage, Dragunov is walked up on by Josh Briggs, who caught heel like it was a virus from JBL, who walked up on him last week, and he's like, now, like, I think I've come down with something. I'm a heel now, and it was just okay, cool.
Ladies and
honestly,
gentlemen,
he should be, but
try to be respectful of everybody's beliefs in the way that they want to go about things, but this is why vaccines are so important. You could just catch being a heel at any time, and unless you want to view life through the lens of being a bad guy, get your boosters.
What?
Get your boosters. Get your boosters. What do you think I said?
You froze. So what I heard was get your boobs. And I was like,
I mean, get those too if you need them. I mean,
okay. Yeah.
A lot of ladies in this industry get their boobs.
Mm-hmm. They do. They get them. So it's like I want you to think hard if you want to do this, because I think you do not. Because Briggs is like, hey, I just Briggs is like, I talked to JBL. He said I'm supposed to find myself. Maybe that is like, I'm supposed to be mean now. And what? What are we do? Why are we doing this? Basically says like, I will teach you a lesson. And then Trickworm said, hold up. Let's not do it. I gotta keep this guy in number 1 good condition for my match at Vengeance Day. Also, I've heard around the internet he's not allowed to wrestle during the month of January. So you and I are going to have a match. Trick Williams says, he does a thing that I think might get over if he does it right. Of like, what the hell are you thinking about? Blah blah blah. Why are you doing this? What are you blah blah blah? Hold up, that was a trick question, and I feel like that trick question might actually be a thing. Okay, I got a trick question for you. Trick question. You know what I mean? Perhaps.
That feels like if I thought of it, everybody would hate it, but because I didn't think of it, everybody's gonna love it. I feel like there's a pun double standard. I think when I think of puns, people are like, that's corny. But when other people think of puns, they are celebrated.
Right.
Also, Ilya's just back, and he could not care less about Ridge Holland.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, that
it's a catch-22, because I'm like, don't do that storyline. But like, that guy put you out in kayfabe for a month, and you were just like, I'm back for other things.
They've moved past that entirely.
Yeah, they're like you hate Gallus now.
They showed us a man that what they were showing us. Obviously, it was fake, but they were showing us a man who may have been paralyzed. They made us watch him get carted out on a stretcher. Like, that was what they showed us, and they also showed us the man who inadvertently injured him. Like basically in the fetal position up in the corner, like trying to figure out how this could be his life. And both of them were like, nah, that never happened. The idea that they did that angle in what appears to be just because Ilya takes January off every year, and they had to find some reason for him to not defend the title at New Year's Evil, and this was it. But it was like a one-off that's never going to be talked about again between the two of them. Feels really weird. I'm not going to lie.
We can't not call out the creative gap, but it's also exactly what they should do. They should not have done this in the first place. They should immediately move past it.
They should address it in some way that allows us to move past it, as opposed to just trying, like, being memory holding it. You know what I mean? They should do something.
They should find a creative solution.
Anyway, so Trick Williams versus Josh Briggs, because
he's a heel now.
Uh, CZ says, I'd rather see the anonymous computer GM. Well, okay.
It's mean. I asked them to
But
send in something else.
But listen, I don't. We existed for a long time without a GM in NXT.
It's
The
true.
idea that they think this is the solution, we'll have to see. But
yeah, it's not looking great. But I don't want to pick on talent. I will gladly pick on creative. That's what we're here to do.
No, like the creative of putting her in this role seems lacking to me. That's
extremely fair. That's extremely
you know what
fair.
I mean. So Maddie Rankowski, what is her last name? It feels like she's some kind of heiress. Sinclair. Wren Sinclair. Like she feels like she should be Tiffany Stratton's friend from school.
She does.
Hello, I'm Wren Sinclair. Like it does feel kind of like that.
Yeah.
But she is like freaking out about how she has a match with Lash Legend. And then Tiffany Stratton, Fallon Henley walks up like, "Hi, I don't have anything to do now because I broke up with my tag team partners and Tiffany Stratton's going to the main roster, hopefully. But should we be friends now?" And that's basically what this was, kind of, for me.
I hope so. I hope that's the case. She did good in like what was kind of her first real promo, right? For Miss Wren Sinclair, she did a good job. Sure. It does feel like there's a lot of extremely nervous gals on NXT.
There are a lot of
Thea Hale's older sister, let's be real. And this, I was like, Roxanne has anxiety. It made her a loser. So all of these women are unfortunately going to have to be losers. But I was like, can we get different character traits other than black lipstick and being nervous? But she did a good job with it.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of nervy gals.
You know, I don't know if I've mentioned it on this show. I've certainly mentioned it on Twitter, and I stand by it. I am genuinely shocked that this program in particular, as we're talking about like character-heavy stuff, has not offered Becca a contract. Becca the pop star, B3 CCA. And as I was watching Maddie today, I was like, God, every time I watch the show and see this women's division, I think about like how much they wouldn't have to do to assimilate her to this environment because she is so crystal cut out for this program. But anyway, I don't know why that popped into my head during this, but it did. Maybe because of the redheadedness. I don't know. But I'm stunned she has not just been handed a contract and launched. But this was pretty good from her. I would just like to see a little bit something different other than nervous and finding a darker side of themselves. We have a lot of that going on right now.
Lash defeated Wren with her big chokeslammy deal. This was fine. Hey, Lash Legend won a singles match that wasn't a qualifier for a world title match. That's cool. Hey, can we get more of these? Then you could actually give her a title match versus Lyra Valkyria. I would not mind that at all.
Yeah, this is good.
Literally give her 2 more of these. And then she got 2 more. That's 3 singles victories in a row. And then I won't complain an iota if you give her a title match versus Lyra Valkyria. That is how easy I am. Honestly, 3 singles victories before you get a title match should be the bare minimum. Like that's a pretty low bar to have to clear, Sean and Ava. Let's get that done, okay?
Sean and Ava. Yeah. Agreed. This was good. This is the best we've seen Lash with consistency in a while. Like it's really good to see her putting in the work and it paying off here. That makes me happy. To your point, it's been a little in reverse. She was getting opportunities before literally any singles wins this year. Let's keep her feeling important by continuing to give her some wins. Lash Legend versus Okada, I think it's happening.
So
that's that's gonna not get old for me and is already old for you. It's gonna happen 3 more times this episode. I'm just warning you.
Fallon saves Maddie from a beatdown. Like it was because it was like not. It was because and then so Jada and Lash there was a thing that happens later where Noam Dar and Ora Mensa are out there for the Supernova sessions, and they say, Lash and Jakara Jackson had to go. Like they're implying that the brawl that started an hour prior is still happening backstage, which it's NXT. It would not surprise me, but it was very funny to be like they're not even
foot
allowed
out
to
the door of the parking lot, please.
Yeah. Jambeard says, no, keep Lash a million miles away from the title. No, I won't. She's improved a great deal. And he deserves a title shot as much as a lot of other women. So
if
yeah.
She gets a couple extra wins on
screen. I'm not saying I want her to win it, and I'm not saying I wanted to do it at Stand and Deliver. They do TV title matches that are 8 minutes long all the time.
Sure.
Lyra Valkyria overcoming a woman much bigger than her is a
great story
part of her reign. That's the problem I've had with all the women's title reigns so far is they get like a match here where they don't look particularly strong and a feud here that just seems misbooked or mistimed, and then they just they drop the belt. Like if you're going to have Lyra carry it for a while, beating Lash Legend is not a bad thing along the way. I'm just saying.
Correct. No, I agree with you. It's a completely different opponent than Lyra's ever had. I agree with you. Put Lash on TV, get her a couple more wins, and give her a title shot. Why not?
Jambeard, you are barking up the wrong tree here, man. Lash is so much better now than Dom is. Like she wasn't. I'll give you that. She's better now than Dom is.
Let's also not do that. That's just icky. Like let's not compare talent like that.
I'm really impressed with how much Lash has improved. I will say that. I'm really impressed.
Agreed. There's been a lot of growth.
DIJAK and Joe Gacy, I forgot why they were fighting. And they showed us the replay from last week. We forgot to talk about how crazy Joe Gacy, decided to be the third guy in the commentary booth. Last
week forgot to talk about DIJAK's match, and we forgot to talk about Joe Gacy. We were on one last week.
We were definitely on one. Joe Gacy headbutted DIJAK while DIJAK was a competitor in the match, and then they brawled to the back last week. So that's why they have DIJAK versus Joe Gacy this week, but there's no match. And what we're getting out of this, it looks like, is all of the weird, I stole the ring bell, I live under the ring now, I'm throwing my phone off the roof to simulate suicide. All of this
Paxley's living under tables. Joe Gacy's living under rings. What are we doing?
I'm just focusing on the Joe Gacy thing now.
Okay. There's a lot going on, that's all I'm saying.
No, I know, but I need us to focus because this is how we miss matches. Okay. Joe Gacy has been doing this weird, crazy stuff outside of the ring. And I don't necessarily agree with all of the things he's been doing. But if it leads to psychopath that you can't keep down, I don't know, that's as close to deathmatch Joe Gacy as we've gotten. It's worlds better than dresses like a youth pastor, cult leader guy. It's way better than that. So I really think that what we saw tonight, DIJAK kicking him so hard he flew through the wall. But then getting up, and then he gets put on through the table, and he gets up. He's always got that crazy look in his eye. I've always thought there was and maybe Joe Gacy's the right guy for this. Some version of the old I'm not comparing him obviously to Mick Foley, but the old Cactus Jack character, who
Sure.
would just the ECW Cactus Jack, where he was not right in the head,
Yeah, he
and
was Looney
he
Tunes.
took crazy punishment and just kept coming at you. And he lost matches, but it didn't matter because he was not going to let this go. I think DIJAK having the first go round with a guy like that is a great way to like show, oh no, like one of our biggest, most heavy hitters can't keep this dude down. You know what I mean?
Agreed. DIJAK is extremely valuable in NXT for this reason. Like going up against guys like this who are establishing themselves and helping them look really great is important. And he's one of the best at it. And it's also really fun when we get things like a last man standing match with Ilya Dragunov, like incredible matches that he's capable of. But part of the value of DIJAK being around is for this purpose. And I think he's probably the right guy for Gacy to tango with, not only in the ring, but from a character perspective of let's make it make sense, right? That is the second best booking I've heard about Joe Gacy in the past 24 hours, and I would like you to share on the main what your booking on Fightful Select was last night.
What was it? So about
A
what?
parking lot monster?
Oh, I'm sorry. I drifted.
It's been a very weird news day. We're all burned.
Now I don't want my booking anymore because I actually like I like a realistic thing. Listen, I said last night, if they're gonna keep doing nothing with Joe Gacy, just having him have no direction, I would rather them have an absolute concrete crazy direction, which is that Joe Gacy is the only one who can see the invisible parking lot monster. The parking lot monster, like in Lost, like the smoke monster, is the one who's been attacking everybody. That's why we could never find out who attacked Hideo Itami. Back in season 1, Hideo Itami got attacked by the parking lot monster, but we never found out who did it. And now we realize it's been the parking lot monster the whole time. And Joe Gacy is the only one who can see and communicate with the parking lot monster. He cannot control it. That's very, very vital. He's the only one who can see it and communicate with it. He can understand it. He hears voices, they talk to him, and the voice is telling him to bring him sacrifices. And so it's just been Joe Gacy like leaving like trails of Reese's Pieces out to the parking lot. So people were like, oh, a piece of candy, oh, a piece of candy, all the way out there. And then the invisible parking lot monster attacks them. That was my booking up until tonight, which I think they actually may have given us something better than that.
Okay, so what they gave us is actually good, but I love your batshit insane John Locke idea. I'm here for it. I think it's a lot of fun. I also just like the idea of there being a parking lot monster. Like, let's get to the bottom of the thing that is actually plaguing NXT.
Vic Joseph following pieces of candy would be so great, especially because he's like 6'10". So him bending all the way down to pick something off the ground would be really funny to watch. That would be very funny. That'd be very funny.
I love it so much. Hey, you know what else is funny, Alex?
What's that?
When the great people that are watching the show send in puns.
Oh, right. Sorry. Wanted to clarify. The match never started. It was just a big brawl and everything fell apart, and they're probably having a match at Vengeance Day. Now, we want to come back to that match, and we can move on.
Okay. We did cover the DIJAK Joe Gacy angle this week.
We did.
We absolutely did last week. You don't have to go back and watch. You don't have to confirm that for us, but we're great.
Ricardo says, hi, Alex and Kate. Also, Abaddon Prime.
Abaddon Prime's really good. Abaddon Prime's really
Lieutenant
good.
Colonel Photo, this is really good. These are so good. Lieutenant Colonel Photo says, Adam Cole eBay.
You know it's all about that.
And this is really, really good. Also from Lieutenant Colonel Photo. Wikipediana Perazo. Wikipediana Perazo. I like that one.
The virtuosa. Wikipediana Perazo.
Ricardo sends in one from Gemini season. It's
famous thing.
Sling!
That's really good.
Mick Norma says Alba Firestick and Johnny Hulu TV Plus.
Very nice. Very nice.
And Chris Perez says the firewalls of Jericho.
Well done.
Ricardo also sends in Louisville. Wi-Fi star frog splash. Wi-Fi star frog splash. That's really hard to say. Wi-Fi star. That's hard to do. Okay, Ryan Ben says Avatar and Nathan Reacher.
Axiom and Nathan Frazer?
Maybe. Yeah. Avatar and Nathan Reacher. Okay. Lyra, Rise of the Valkyries.
Very nice. Very nice.
Orion Ben says Kaza McKenzie.
Kaza McKenzie. If more than half our chat is old enough to remember what Kaza was, I'll be very impressed.
I mean, I'm definitely old enough, but I don't know what Kaza is.
It was like a Napster alternative.
Oh,
like when Napster got shut down, we were all on Kaza, and then we were like, "Oh, we got to pay for shit now."
No, I was too old for Napster and Kaza. I was like, I have CDs. Every song that I want to own, that I want to listen to, I own on CD. I don't have them anymore, of course, because
CDs actually aren't the best of media.
No, it's true.
I had a CD burner because I was really cool.
Orion Ben 666 says Kaza. I did that one. Richard Movie Holiday Stream. There we go.
Oh, I like that. Richard Holiday's great.
Jambeard says Alex Disney Plusowski.
Very good.
Chris Perez says all ego Ethernet page. Chris Perez says incognito mode. Incognito.
Nito.
Greg Cherrybrand says BitTorrent Wilson.
Very good.
A
lot of legs on those BitTorrents.
All right, I'm gonna save that one for after. Insert clever Tegan Knox pun says Tegan Knox flicks.
Very good. A lot of synergy in that one. God bless.
And then he asks, and did Kate just lose the game?
No, I did not. Okay. Because you are simply referencing Paul Levesque.
I feel like you did the thing with like what kids be like, I got you. No, you didn't, because I have special force field armor.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, okay, cool. You were definitely the
You know what? If you pay to tell me I lost the game, then I lost the game. If you just say it in the chat, I didn't lose the game. But if you pay, I'll eat all the L's you want.
Okay. Jambeard says Ava's on Prime.
Ava's on Prime, very good.
Chris Pereira says Tiger Lexis King.
We're going to talk about Lexis King and his inconsistent facial hair in a minute, but very good.
And his really bad vibes.
Really bad vibes in his sliding chair.
Louisville says Fubo Femi.
Very good.
Chris Pereira says Alba Firefox.
Very good.
Knocked Out Film says Body Donna skip intro.
I don't get it.
Skip intro. Body Donna skip? No. Skip and Sunny the Body Donnas?
I don't think so. Do I remember them?
But you know skip intro, which is like what you do when you what?
Yeah, no, I didn't know the wrestler was referencing. I have to go study.
No, you really don't. The Body Donnas, you don't have to study
honestly,
that.
what Attitude Era?
No.
80s?
Like the new generation. Like 95.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not good stuff.
I haven't gone back and watched a lot of that.
Luis Polito says Squid War Games.
Very nice.
And Matthew Hook says Techno Stream 2000. And instead of Team 3D, it's Team 4K. And then also Buffering Club Gold.
Very good.
Lieutenant Colonel Photo says Hulu kick, and Kate lost the game.
Okay, I'll take the L on that one.
You started this whole thing. You started it all. So
No,
like you
people are gonna
losing the
pay
game.
for it. I'll take the
Okay,
L.
cool. Okay. Chris Pereira says Router Ronda Rousey.
Router Ronda Rousey is very good. Chris Candido.
Mm-hmm.
Body Donnas. Yeah.
Okay. Lord Kev says tonight's guest ring announcer, Michael Buffering. Ricardo name TBD says Alicia Firefox and Chrome Tome instead of Crime Time.
That's very good. I think because Noam Dar is on the show, it should be Alicia Firefox.
And then Ian R said
Ian
Triple HDMI. Jambeard says Crunchy Rolling Thunder, and Kate just lost the game.
Oh no! You know what though? Know what I just realized?
What?
Everybody who just sent in a chat just lost the game. So,
and I am so glad that I did not have any cognizance of this stupid game when I was younger. Tom LaValle says,
know about it, so you lost it.
I am not playing. Tom LaValle said,
that's not how it works.
Tom LaValle says, to be Team 2000.
To be Team 2000 is very good.
And Roku Maivia, which might be my favorite. And Chi-Town Spurs says, to be Soho.
I love that one.
That's really good. This is really good from Chris Pereira. Coco B Malware. And Chris Pereira says Google Chrome and Reigns.
Croman Reigns.
Tyrone Kid says turning on my Netflix to watch One Trey Bearhill.
Yes, I know it's the wrong show.
My MD Cyclo says he's not here, but Matthew Plus.
He watches these back, so good to know.
Ricardo name TBD says Mufasa Ali, which is like that's if we were doing Disney characters. I don't know what.
Well, maybe you stream your Disney.
Perhaps that's true. I suppose.
Yeah.
And Electric Mayhem says Roku Ishii.
That's very good.
And Lord Kev says Big Josh. That's it. That's the chat.
That's all it needs to be. That's all it needs to be. You know why that's all it needs to be, Alex?
What's that?
Because Big Josh is a fucking legend.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
He debuted with 2 bears that were real, that were peeing their pants, their little bear pants, all the way down to the ring with a handler. He got into the ring. Bears just went off with the handler. Know what he went on to do? WCW Trios champion alongside Z-Man and Dustin Rhodes.
That's true. Yeah. Jambeard says that's not what I thought you'd say about Joe Gacy and the Monster. I pictured the booking being him as Oscar the Grouch in the parking lot.
He would pull that off, I feel like. Him being Oscar the Grouch in the parking lot, he'd be good.
He might actually do it. And Jesse Ozog says, R.I.P. to the Forbidden Love with Man in the Mask.
Yeah. I miss him just calling Excalibur a bunch of pastries, but what are you going to do?
I am here to raise awareness about the plight of wayward extension cords.
Electra Lopez. About the important things here, okay? Wayward extension cords and clams.
Listen. Somebody needs to speak up for the extension cords, okay? Electra Lopez kicks in a door, walking in looking for Lola Vice. She accosts some poor crew member and says, "Where is she? Where's Lola Vice?" And there's a table in front of her on which sit a bunch of just extension cords. They're innocent. They've done nothing to anyone. They're not plugged in. They don't carry a charge. These extension cords had 2 days to retirement, and she sweeps them right off the table. Wantonly, without regard for those extension cords had families, damn it.
With God as my witness, they have fallen down.
They're tangled. They have knots in them now. You can't get those out.
Terrible. They're just going to die a sad death because they're going to be all bent, which means the current isn't going to your device, or people just get annoyed with them and get a different extension cord. RIP those cords.
Elektra, all damn day today on social media, they're like, Lola Vice is going to be on Supernova sessions. Just wait for that to happen and then go out there. You ended up doing it anyway. It's weird that you decided to have to like knock these extension cords. That dude spent a long time. Those were long extension cords. That crew member spent a long time rolling them up over his elbow like this. You know what I mean? That takes a long time. That can result in shoulder bursitis. That is one of those like a repeated injury things like carpal tunnel of the shoulder. He did that for a long time, 20 minutes for each cord. And you just sweep them onto the floor like it's nothing. I feel like you are just a font of misplaced rage.
Relatable, to be honest, but I do feel bad for whatever intern wrapped up all those cords, because that's just mean. Do you think she did that with people's like Nintendo controllers?
Maybe, I don't know.
That's just cruel and unusual.
Ariana is
Electra Lopez electricity cords.
There we go. Good. I actually didn't think of that.
Yeah,
I actually didn't think of that.
That's why you pay me the medium bucks.
Later, she meets Ariana Grace, she was rehearsing a farewell speech, and I was like, oh man, if they call her up before they call up Roxanne, I don't know what I'm gonna do, Kate. I don't know what I'm gonna do, Kate. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But it was well done. I just don't understand. Why she's currently currently a beauty pageant contestant. Former beauty pageant contestant. Okay, I still don't get why she's the current one. But Elektra going like, hey, where is the fun and games are over? I was literally sitting here rehearsing a speech on or games. Where's Lola Vice? I don't know. And then she leaves. So
I think what you're missing is that it's a lifestyle. Okay, you don't leave the game leaves you when you're a beauty queen. Right. But Alex, you bring up a good point about if she would get called up before Roxanne Perez or Tiffany Stratton. I don't think that would happen. But if I needed guidance to answer such a question, if I wanted to bet who would maybe be entering a Royal Rumble or something like that, guess where I could find that information? I bet you have no idea.
I don't know.
See, if you had checked BetOnline AG, you would have known the answer to that question. You could have won a bunch of money, but Sean Ross Sapp is going to tell you even more about it.
What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, here to tell you about BetOnline AG. The highest credit card acceptance industry-wide, 25-plus year track record, safe and secure online environments, payouts in minutes, the fastest in the industry. You can bet big with their high limits and rebet functionality, the earliest line, so odds open before the competition, the industry's best bonuses on every qualifying deposit, and we're talking on everything. Wrestling, they got it. MMA, they got it. Boxing, they got it. But hey, you know what? I know we're Fightful. We don't just live for that. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, racing, esports, anything you can think of. Not only that, this is exclusively where Fightful gets our lines from. If you hear us talking about lines on a prediction show or on our post shows, it is always from BetOnline AG. Please bet responsibly and only bet what you can. BetOnline.ag.
That's right. Betting lines. Not the other type of lines that people accuse Sean of doing because he blows his nose on air. But betting lines at BetOnline AG. They're a wonderful sponsor. They're really great to us. So if you could, even if you're not a betting guy or gal yourself, or they yourself. Head on over to Bet Online AG and let them know that you found out about them through us. That goes a long way in helping us. And if you're winning all that money with Bet Online AG, which you probably will be, let's be real, you should spend some of it on FightfulSelect.com, right? Like just literally $5 a month.
Yep.
Because then you won't be like, oh my God, Okada to NXT. You'll be like, well, hold on. What does Sean have to say about such a thing? And today you would have found out that was a little bit premature of a report. And I'm going to come back to that premature segue for our other sponsor in a little bit. We're not going to play them back to back because I respect the good people of the SGS. But if you are worried about reports being premature of your own, you know where I'm going with that.
I do. Jambeard also knows where you're going. He says if you need help getting Raw with Netflix and chill.
That's really funny. Now my job security is threatened, okay? Back off. Back off.
So, okay.
You can ghostwrite for me, but you can't just come in here and super chat. Yes.
Let's say that you are a big dumb stiff and you have to learn how to be a techer. How would you go about that?
Except I don't need to learn how to be a techer. I would probably put myself through a lot of NFL combine drills.
Yeah? Because it feels like
I would probably
feels like technical wrestler, offensive lineman, like basically the same thing. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would go to a football field to work out. I would, those like heavy bags that are on a cart thing, I would shoulder block some of those.
Yeah.
Maybe
would you
do
tape somebody's face on them?
I mean, what is this, amateur hour? Of course I would.
Would you also curse at small children?
I do that. That actually was the realest part of this whole video. I would absolutely curse at small children under a lot of circumstances.
Alpha Bill says, what is Von Wagner? I mean, I don't know.
Listen, sausages.
It's like, what are we doing here, Stone? Hey, come on, man. Look, does this place bring back memories? Yeah, of course it does. This is my own stomping grounds. Because it's UCF. It's the UCF football field. Cal Bloom, not Von Wagner, but Cal Bloom, actually played for the UCF Golden Knights. Graduated in 2016. He was a tight end. And he started actually as a tight end through his entire junior year. Came off the bench his senior year. Total catches in 2 years playing on the football team. Five catches. So,
didn't get him to the NFL?
So no, he did not. No, he didn't. It like the idea, like, does this place bring back memories? Yeah, it's terrible. Like I just dropped everything they threw to me. It was awful. Like, please don't bring me here. I'm having post-traumatic stress disorder here. It's terrible.
I had the great fortune of going to Wrestle Dream, and I got to see probably the greatest technical wrestling match of all time there. And I got to tell you, when I was in Seattle, you go like through the press gate, and I just saw Danielson and ZSJ both just doing 3-cone drills. And Danielson, you want to talk about his broken orbital bone? It was because those carts with the heavy bags on them just knocked it out. He's been fighting that injury a lot longer than people know. So that's how you prepare for a technical wrestling match.
This was a really dumb segment.
Oh my God, it was so stupid.
It was just really dumb. It was just really dumb. And then they had the little kids there from the sausages sketch.
Yeah, Robert Stone's kids have whistles.
Yeah, and they have eye black,
and
they're dressed in little tiny.
It's pretty cute. The kids are cute.
They're cute. And at one point, Robert Stone throws a football and it bounces off Von Wagner throws a football and bounces off Robert Stone's face.
Part of the thing.
So he has a match versus Von Wagner.
Him like Thanksgiving.
Yes, the week before Thanksgiving. No, he showed up last week, and he was just in the locker room, and he had like a conversation with Noam Dar, which is how he got this match for the Heritage Cup. And
right,
now,
that I remember, but
right.
like for a real segment, like
Yes.
a more than 30-second,
yes.
whatever.
So this is what they want to do with Von Wagner. They're bound and determined to make him into a comedy big man, and he is anyway. He has his match versus Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup next week. I thought it was going to be at Vengeance Day. If it was at Vengeance Day, I would be reasonably sure he was winning, but he's not winning it on a regular episode of NXT. Because here's the deal, Kate. I don't know how many times you can book this guy into important stuff that he loses and then just comes out A-okay at the end. Because it continues to be hilarious to me that they had a very long personal feud with him and Bron Breakker. Whereas the blow-off match, Bron Breakker won. But it didn't matter because afterwards he tabled him. That was it. You know what I mean?
Well, he also hit him in the head with all that air. Don't forget.
Yeah.
I think they think that if you're funny, wins and losses don't matter. Like if Orange Cassidy was in NXT, he would lose all the time because it doesn't matter.
That's true. That's true. Honestly.
And I get that because, well, when it works, somebody is perpetually over, so they can afford to eat losses but still be well liked and important. It's not. I don't like that type of booking because I think it takes it for granted. But I will say, I don't see Von Wagner being a great comedy big man because I don't think he's shown that he's super funny or been given anything funny.
No. Nope. So again, we'll see this match next week. We'll talk about it.
I love Noam Dar so much. I want him to wrestle people that are good.
I know. Lexis King defeated Trey Bearhill.
When I tell you his beard was different.
Yeah, it's different every week. I think he pencils it in. I honestly do.
Like, it was different here than at the end of the show, though.
Yeah, it was true. That was very true. Yeah.
But also, when we mention Lexis King, we have to. Can you say his name again?
Lexis King.
Thank you. What is the slidey chair? It's so weird.
Well, also, what is with the My Chemical Romance jacket? Because it's I don't know, man.
Everything that's entertaining about him is unintentional.
Yeah.
Like when he was like looking for his pockets.
Yeah. He beat Trey Bearhill. Okay. We'll talk more about him being weird later. Trick and Hayes backstage arguing about whether or not it was a good idea to take this match versus Josh Briggs. And because Carmelo says no. And also remember that loose end to that plot hole that we did before Christmas where I said that it was actually Ilya who attacked you. We should probably sew that up at some point if I'm going to be called to the main roster. And Trick's like, yeah, but basically says, I don't care about that. Like somebody attacked him from behind and he's gotten over it. I mean, it was months ago at this point, so it's good that he's gotten over it. But yeah, he's like, I need to go out there by myself. Please don't come out there and help me in any way. I need to go out there and face Josh Big by myself, he says. So yeah. So
does he? Like there's nothing on the line. It doesn't really matter.
He needs to.
Kind of like with the heel on this one where I'm like, you really don't need to take this match. Like,
yeah. Lola Vice is on Supernova Sessions. She talks about how Elektra Lopez hitched herself to the Latina heat. She's a leech. She doesn't matter. I don't care about her. We were never a real team or whatever. And then Elektra Lopez comes out and says all you do is shake your ass on Instagram, and then you were an actress for a second, and then you decided to do some kickboxing in a bikini, and that means you're an MMA fighter. And and I'm going to beat you up. And she spears her over the couch, and they have a brawl, and they'll have a match next week. And after Elektra Lopez loses that match, she'll be called up to the SmackDown to join Santos.
Yeah,
To join Santos, please,
I
because
think so.
I feel like all of the trios are going to get a lady.
Yeah, and her and Zelina could be like fun. I don't know if it has to be like a huge in-ring feud, but like them doing fun stuff on the outside would be good.
What Dragon Lee also will lose to Obafemi. He's going to get called. He's going to get back up to SmackDown. It's going to be Dragon Lee and the former Legado boys versus Santos and the Perros Del Mar kids, and then they each have a lady. Also, another trio has a lady. That's Scarlett. I don't know. Maybe you add Bianca. She feels like too big time to be part of the Bobby Lashley thing, but she would definitely back up Montez if he asked her to. So, like, she's a ringer, though. Like, Scarlett, Elektra, Zelina.
All three of them, really. Sorry, ladies.
He's just going to stack them all on their shoulders and KOD all of them at once. Yeah. But it feels like they are building some kind of trios division on SmackDown. If all the trios got a lady, then they could have, like, horrible 8-person mixed tags where everybody has to tag out when Zelina gets tagged in. Oh, let B-Fab's with him. That's right, B-Fab. That's right, B-Fab's with him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we haven't seen her in a bit, actually, since they turned face.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen B-Fab. So, I mean, you also forgot to mention something about the Supernova sessions, which is that Noam Dar's part of it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm over it. So you can fangirl.
Okay,
out
well, this is no longer your show, and you're off the show. He did also say that he mentioned Fallon Henley with the Lash Legend stuff and was like, she likes horses way too much, which popped me tremendously.
It's true. She does.
But I mean, justice for girls shaking their ass on Instagram. There's nothing wrong with it. How dare you, Elektra Lopez? It's an art form. But this was good. I think Elektra going up to the main roster is the move, and I actually think they might do that because I don't think that they break up this duo otherwise. Like, it kind of came like out of nowhere, and while they do that, it just feels a little bit different because I think people were settling into the idea of them being an alliance. But she should go up there. She's all presence, man. She's all presence. She gave a good little promo here. She came out with some fire in it. Lola Vice held her part down just fine. She was mostly there to play the foil. This was a better part of the show for sure, but I really do think like Elektra Lopez, like you said, like just knocking someone out with a hook on the outside. Play to her strengths for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Luis says there are a lot of very mean curses in Spanish during the brawl between the two ladies. So
are there ones that we can say on air?
I don't know. He's not listing them, but
I'm gonna assume no then.
Jambeard says, no worries. I do not have the bangs to compete with you for the job of Segway maker.
Oh, that's very kind of you, but just, back off.
The ones that would get us demonetized. yeah, there we go. Yeah. So Chase U is finally dead. R.I.P. Chase U. You will not be missed. They had the repo men coming to take the flag, Kate. The flag, the Chase U flag got taken off the wall. Riley Osborne was really sorry. He's looking forlornly at his football helmet. I did not know Chase U had a football team, Kate. But I didn't know he was on the team. But he's like, oh darn, they repoed his football helmet. They repoed Riley Osborne's football helmet. And he apologized to Mr. Chase. I'm sorry, I was only here for a very short time, but I really liked being a part of the university. It meant everything to me. I've been here for 3 weeks. It meant everything to me, but now I'm going to leave, and everybody else is going to leave, and they're taking the desks. They're taking the desks, And Duke Hudson's like, don't worry, it's materialistic things. It can all be replaced. And he says that as a repo man comes and takes his MVP trophy. Duke Hudson lost his MVP trophy, Kate. Oh, no, the humanity. But that wasn't nearly as bad as when they came and took Andre Chase's podium. Where will he say the F word to his students from, Kate? If not behind his beloved podium. And eventually they took everything from the room except for the weird posters on the walls. And then they said their goodbyes to the university. Everything I worked all my life to build is now gone. Better turn off the light and stand here like Will Smith and that Fresh Prince meme.
Are you kidding me with this? Honestly, to be honest, I'm actually impressed that they paid off Duke Hudson holding his MVP trophy all the time.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, all right, long-term storytelling for Duke Hudson with the MVP trophy.
Yeah.
We went through all this bullshit just for them to lose all the money?
They never got
just
the
to
money.
Be a bunch of losers?
Yeah, well, no, they're... Listen, JC Jane, I guess her OnlyFans calendar is going to make $1 million, so...
They're the students.
I don't know, man.
You had a tag tournament that had people from your university.
Man, I'm telling you, like that, if you had Riley and Duke make it to the finals of the if you had Riley and Duke made it to the finals of the Dusty Classic, and that day JC Jane comes in like, well, we didn't make enough to get everything, but we made half. But I know we have some more ideas. We'll make the next half. Maybe you could get an extension, and we could get the next half, the other half by next week. By the way, we're all gonna go and root on Riley and Duke, okay? And then we see Andre Chase getting on the phone. He's like, "All right, I have half. I want to bet it all on Riley and Duke to win." And then you see Andre Chase at ringside pulling his hair out with every near fall, like literally give him prop clumps of hair to tear out of his head at one point, and then make it as slapsticky as possible. And then they do win, and because they win, and he placed the bet. He bet on himself and his students to win, and they come through and they do it. And that's how they get out of debt. At least that is a fun and interesting way to get out of the story, as opposed to they repoed my podium. And now it's always darkest before the dawn. Oh, JC Jane, what's this? You've sold enough OnlyFans calendars for us to get out of Hawk?
There was such a fun idea that was sitting right there between the gambling debt university and mobster tag team champions that you could have executed a really fun story on. And then Out the Mud got involved, but then they weren't really involved. Like they had something that could have been so fun to follow through on, and they were like, we're going to turn left, and then orange. Like, it's not even the same thing anymore. Like, this is so bizarre. And really unrewarding. Like, it was hard enough to get invested in it because it was all over the place, and now there's not even a payoff. I'm sure that JC Jane will come up with something, but it's not nearly as satisfying as them paying their way out from under two mob boss tag team champions.
Right.
JC Jane and Thea Hale having to face Big Ange to pay off the rest of the debt or whatever. Like, there's so many options that they could have had. This was, I will say the segment itself, I actually felt like was well executed from Mr. Chase and Duke Hudson and stuff. Like, I feel like they did a good job doing what they were supposed to do with the segment. It's just a very unrewarding end to the story. which had opportunities several times to be really fun, and it just was not. I mean, they could have for sure gotten out of debt if they had just consulted BetOnline AG.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Do you think any of them have a structured settlement? Because they definitely need cash now.
I know exactly who they could call, but they don't sponsor this show.
They should. We should get sponsorship.
I'll
sing. I will sing the damn thing in any voice they choose every week.
It could be all of them because it's a whole chorus.
Orion Band says, "Isn't this Chase U plot Van Wilder or PCU? I don't know. I've never seen those movies. Perhaps it is." Jambeard has decided he has chosen violence today. He says, "Don't worry, Okada will save Chase U. He'll make it rain money for them." Did you see the pic of Okada in a Chase U hoodie? That will be his future if he goes to WWE. Well,
Rainmaker U.
Tom LaValle says Repodium. Got it. Repodium. There we go. So we see OTM has destroyed a restaurant and attacked Big Ange, and they're threatening the restaurant manager, and then they leave. And then we see later Tony D.
You just succinctly recount things that happened on the show, and when you say things like OTM destroyed a restaurant, it makes me laugh.
I mean, that is what happens. Sometimes you just have to tell the facts.
No, it's true.
Essentially, have to tell the facts. So then we see Tony D and Defam in a car, and with Tony D like FaceTiming himself. I don't know, like what is he's going live on Instagram. Like, hey, OTM, you think you can come to my place, to my restaurant and do that? You think you could attack Big Edge? We're coming after you. And he lists everybody. SCRYPTS, Bronco, Lucien, Jada. And when he says Jada, Big Ange also says Jada. And I'm like, yeah, both of you take out Jada. Because Jada talks some trash to Big Ange. And so then SCRYPTS has a match with Dragon Lee because we're putting in overtime on Dragon Lee. If he's down there, he is going to pull some matches out of people.
Like the champion came back tonight. Have that guy wrestle.
Yeah. And yeah.
I like the idea of it being an Instagram Live now, and Tony D being like, get ready with me while I flee a restaurant that was attacked by OTM.
GRWM. So Dragon Lee is putting work, making SCRYPTS look good in his St. Louis Arch boxer shorts. I'm sorry. It's just a weird thing for me to watch SCRYPTS do the things that like Dragon. You can't do Cirque du Soleil moves in a match with an actual, honest to God, great luchador. You know what I mean? It's just it's not gonna, Anyway,
it would be fine. if Sean tried to sit on this show and tried to sing and do puns. Like there's a level you need to be at to be in the same ring.
It's fun watching Reggie do the stuff with guys who can't keep up with him.
Yeah,
but when you're in like very, very easily and does a lot of the stuff better. So, but anyway, during the match, out comes the family to attack OTM out the mud and Jada Parker. We see Big Ange throw a big Shibata forearm and then do a Lope. And there's a brawl. It goes everywhere in the back, and then SCRYPTS is up there like, what's going on? And walks into a Destino. So there you go.
I feel like it didn't need to be that protected. I feel like Dragon Lee could have just beat him. But what are you gonna do?
Ryan Cicchini says, not gonna lie, Jada makes OTM much cooler. She does. I like Jada. I think this is good for her. I would rather not see a 6-person mixed tag on the pay-per-view. Excuse me, the play, because mixed tags are bad. simply because of you
8-person mixed tag too, right? Or no? Oh no, 6-person. Yeah,
this is
we
a
would
6.
assume Scripps isn't in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just. Oh no! I tagged in the wrong gender. Now everything has to stop while the other person gets in. I never like those, but it's nice to see Big Ange getting some play shine, and Jada as well. So
Big Angiana is the best. She continues to be really fun. She really does have great timing. She's really assimilated into this weird little fun faction extremely well. But Alex, you mentioned scripts, and scripts isn't for everyone. And there are some things that you don't really want to have to get a script for.
Right.
You know what I mean? Could be like kind of an embarrassing situation.
Could be.
Not your favorite thing in the world.
No.
Sometimes you just wish you could have things they would need a script for delivered right to your door in a situation where you only had to pay for shipping. Wow.
That's crazy.
If you're watching this, you have probably considered becoming a pro wrestler at some point. Well, let me tell you, I got your gimmick and I got your gimmick. Here's your gimmick name. Rock Hard Eric Shins. And your gimmick is Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL. Same improved ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but you don't want those. You don't want those. You want Blue Chew. It's chewable, gets into your system a lot faster. It's ready when you are or when you're not. Maybe you need that motivation. Maybe you need that step up in performance. Or maybe you just want a little bit of additional confidence. Take an online questionnaire with a physician, and when approved, it arrives straight to your door. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping, because that first shipment is free when you use the code FIGHTFUL. Mailman's not going to know what's up. The nosy Nellies around your neighborhood aren't going to know what's up. But let me tell you, that special someone's going to know what's up. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
What?
Is it playing for you again?
No.
This thing happens where sometimes it lags and it's still playing in the back, or it loops around, but it's not playing on the stream. It's only playing when I press it. So that's very annoying.
Malik Enofe, so Idris Enofe doesn't know how to button a shirt because he lost a match. This is even worse than like Baron Corbin doesn't know how to button a shirt because he lost all of his money.
Andre Chase had his comb repoed, apparently.
Yeah, well, like I get having one button off. He was buttoning like the bottom button way up here. So like this tie is not even under his collar. It was ridiculous. They're very upset.
You start at the bottom of the shirt, guys, and then you can't mess it up on the way up.
Yeah. But they are accosted.
Oh my God, we didn't talk about the most important thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Forgot about it.
What was that lack of enthusiasm?
No, that's great.
We're talking about Obafemi.
I've received a message that I was too excited about Obafemi.
What?
I know. So I was underplaying it for that person. Obafemi is the greatest person in the world, and he should be the president of the universe. And he's so great. So he's like he says
it's impossible to win at this. Okay, the show is mostly terrible, and we talk about how it's mostly terrible. Yep. And the one thing that we get excited about, you're too excited about it. Obafemi rules. We are Obafeminists. If you don't think Obafemi is the greatest wrestler of all time, Bret Hart told me that Obafemi is the greatest wrestler of all time because he could spear Goldberg.
Yeah. So Obafemi is watching.
He appeared. It was fine.
Obafemi.
There will be a rematch.
Uncrowned king of the galaxy, Obafemi, standing up on the loft, watching the whole thing, with his title perched on his massive shoulder, And after Dragon Lee hits the Destino, Obafemi's like, Dragon! Just love that he calls Dragon Lee. Dragon! I have made my decision! Oh, I love you so much. I'll face you at Vengeance Day. I was like, yes, you will. It's going to be great. You're going to beat him. It's going to be a really great match. You're going to beat him, and then Dragon Lee can go back to SmackDown, and he can anchor that really cool feud you got going on between two cool Latin groups. Awesome.
It'll be the greatest thing ever. And if you're upset about how excited I am, you can kiss a stinky, hairy butt. It's going to be great. Obafemi is great. This is great. Even SCRYPTS thinks he's great, and he doesn't even have a feather boa.
Yep.
How about them apples?
That's right. Okay, so moving past this thing that is the greatest thing ever, but I'm trying to underplay how great it is.
I'm not. Come at me.
Brindley Reese accosts these two men who don't know how to dress because they lost a match. and she spouts Instagram platitudes at them about how, like, you know, whatever. And like, we're gonna write 5 things we liked about the match, 5 things we didn't like about the match. Then we're gonna review them together. She's a life coach and a personal trainer. And Thea Hale's even more coked out older sister. and she hits a mean chop. She chopped the hell out of Edith Henderson O'Fay on the way out, and then cartwheeled out of the room.
I mean, she looks a lot like Thea Hale's older sister. Like, she
really does.
Not even just like the gimmick and the attitude or whatever. I'm like, they could be. I could see that.
Yeah.
I actually don't hate the life coach gimmick. It's kind of fun, but Idris and O'Fay seem to be kind of weird targets for it. But I'm a little bit willing to see where it goes. It's not the worst thing.
I love her coaching up the people who are at the bottom of the mid card to become top of the mid card. Why not?
I want it to be a heel gimmick though. Like, I want her to be taking people's money to not do anything for them.
Yes, I think that's a little. I don't know if they could handle the meta-ness of that. NXT is not very good at nuance.
That's sad.
Blair Davenport defeated Karmen Petrovic because she's Blair Davenport. This was good. Fine.
I really actually liked this.
I really like. There's some cool stuff that she does that I've never seen anybody else do that I really like. Like, she was standing with her back to the ring up against the ropes, and Blair came up and picked one of her ankles, and she like jumped and did like a spinning back kick over her own leg to kick her in the face. Like, yes. It's like little that was a really things cool... that everybody does the thing where, like, okay, so like there's a lot of people who like, I'll kick you in the stomach, but then you grab my ankle, and then we'll see what we do with that afterwards. Like, that kind of a thing. Like, Jeff Hardy did the thing where like he would spin backwards and like kick you in the chest with the other, as opposed to like kicking you with the enziguri. Like, there were like little things that like certain wrestlers had a signature a signature thing that didn't really hurt, or it was just a thing you would see in any context. Anytime somebody grabbed Jeff Hardy's ankle, you knew exactly what he was going to do, and it was always fun to see. And that was part of what drew me into wrestling, was being able to like pinpoint, like, every time I see that, I know what I'm going to see next. And it was kind of this fun thing because it wasn't the same thing from everybody. Anybody who had a signature little basically nothing always drew me in. And I love that Karmen Petrovic has like 3 of those, and she's had 4 matches.
She also sold the ending like she died. Really good sell. Like, I love endings like that where it's not like a lot of this or not like a lot of spit. She R.I.P. Karmen Petrovic. Her style is very interesting. The like karate background is showing through a little bit, but I like the way she moves. She's got a good look. I'm excited to see what we get from her, because I think her first she filled in for someone who was injured, right? I think her first match was like a hot shot, and I was like, wasn't the best. We'll see where it goes. But like now I'm starting to get a sense of who she is. I think she's getting a sense of who she is. I really like her. I'm excited. And Blair's great. Like there's not going to be a bad Blair Davenport match unless she has a really bad opponent. And I like that she's continuing to get wins. It kind of signifies that she's sticking around the top of the card. And I think she should be. She should do some really cool stuff. She's someone that they seem obsessed now with giving people title reigns, even if they're like a week, just to put it in the books. But she's someone they could call up at any point or have her stick around for a year. Like she could do great work with a lot of the women there, or she could go to the main roster tomorrow. Like I don't, she's one of those ones that's kind of in a weird in-between phase, but she'd be a really fun person to have in a Rumble because I think she could eliminate like 5 people or whatever.
Yeah. Ridge Holland is a dumb babyface.
Correct.
He has decided that he will fight all of Gallus, all 3 of them, by himself. That is a thing that he has decided that he is going to do. Nobody told him he had to. He's just doing it. So, yeah.
Just don't be an idiot, baby faces.
Yeah.
Like there's being gutsy and brave, and then there's being dumb.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with 3 of this. 3 cups of coffee is a little too much. You know what I mean?
Trick defeated Josh Briggs. So now that Dolph Ziggler is no longer in WWE, they decided to give his gimmick during matches to Ilya Dragunov, who literally stands up and yells at Trick, "Do something!"
I was so glad Ilya was back by Dramatic Champion King. Everything carries a ton of weight behind it when he says it. So when he yells,
"Don't you want this championship? Get up! Do something!" Like
it makes me be like, "Don't you want this championship? Do something!" Oh, I love it.
Yeah. It. So Trick and Briggs are having this match. Double Vest came out in only a single vest. So he and Trick are having the match. It's going well. Fine. Oh, by the way, someone's gonna have to mute Booker's mic. Okay. Trick Williams coming out. I don't mind I think his entrance theme is very good. I like the crowd chanting for him. But I cannot stand. Yeah, man. I like it. I like it. Yeah, man. Yeah.
It sounds like there's a sound.
I like
someone's just pressing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah, man. I like it. I muted my TV and waited 15 seconds while he was entering, and then unmuted it and immediately heard, "I like it." And I was like, no. Like, I can't with him, man. It is so
just
weird.
Think about like you'll get to hear him call Okada matches.
Yeah. Anyway, Briggs kicks Ilya on the outside accidentally because Ilya's out there on commentary. I'm like, dang it. And then Ilya's going to get in the match and like attack Briggs. And Carmelo stops him from doing so. And then Trick Williams, the number 1 contender for the title, has to like sneak a roll up on Double Vest 2 weeks before his match.
And not even both vests, single vest. Who
just single vest.
Was a terrible case of the heel.
Yeah. Anyway, so now Ilya's really pissed at Carmelo and Trick. And it feels like they're going to try and shoehorn a Carmelo into this match with Trick and Dragunov. So that you're going to have Trick and Mello competing for the Dusty Cup. And they might win it, honestly. The only reason I think they might is because it's NXT and HBK, and he might have them win it, and then have one of them pin the other one for the title in the main event. So then they break up. Like have them win the Dusty Classic, and then have them win the Dusty Classic, and then an hour later they break up. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't like how much of a possibility that feels like.
But I would not mind it if they have the match in the
I'm
Dusty
just so
Classic.
sick of them wasting the Dusty for stupid stuff, though.
Oh, for sure. No, but it was wasted from the very beginning. They didn't put any real tag teams in it. It's wasted from the beginning. So if Bron and Baron win it, then it's not wasted. Because Bron and Baron having a match versus Tony D and Stax, and
Could
maybe
be very
even
fun.
beating them and having a tag run would be interesting to me. But if it's just to further dissension between Trick and Mello, when literally in October, when Trick got attacked and we all thought it was Mello, we thought we were going to have a match between the two of them at Deadline, which is now over 6 weeks ago. You know?
Well,
Yeah,
your champion went away for a month too, so I don't know what they were
weird.
kind of thinking, but
it is odd.
This is definitely it's like the
HBK,
devil's level of overstaying its welcome.
Luis says HBK does not know how to book a tournament, which is why I think they will lose to LWO next week. Just having LWO coming down from SmackDown to go on a run in the tournament, they're not even an NXT tag team. Well, at least we would know that Bron and Baron were winning the titles at Vengeance Day. At least then we know that.
That's true.
So that's ridiculous.
LWO could come down to get a something started with Karmen Electra or whatever. Karmen Electra Lopez. Both stunning.
No, the attack happened 3 months ago. The match that we thought they were going, the date of the match we thought they were going to have about the attack happened 6 weeks ago.
That is correct.
So, then Trick and Mello argue backstage about how to get back on the same page, and don't you know how Ilya attacked you, and he was going to attack you during the match. Ilya, like Carmelo trying to explain it to Trick how Ilya was the one who would going to attack him, even though we all saw Briggs attack Ilya a second ago. That don't do that.
You know who it should be?
Who?
CM Punk. Come on, have fun. The backstage attack with CM Punk. Let's have some fun.
It should be. You're right. So Lexis King hits on a very obviously distressed Thea Hale because her entire life is now up in shambles because of the thing. And JC Jane said, "Don't worry about it. What'd she say? I'm still workshopping." What are you workshopping? Do you have an off-Broadway play? What are you workshopping? What are you workshopping? Anyway,
my life in Toxic Attraction, a JC Jane story.
No. But was really, really like aggressively icky to Thea.
Yeah, he was very creepy.
And then Riley Osborne comes in, and here's what I realize why I hate the backstage segment so much, almost uniformly. It's because they are written and directed to be acted like a show for tweens on the Disney Channel.
Oh yeah, it's an after-school special.
All that's missing is the absurd laugh track. So like when Thea Hale makes a funny face because Riley might actually like her, then you're gonna get all the ridiculous laughing that's up. I don't know.
Well, it's just nice to know that women still need men to save them all the time. But I am glad Riley Osborne is an ally. So that's good, I guess. Don't know why. It's like a lot of things you could do with Lexis King. I don't think making him a creep is something that you need to go out of your way to do. But shout out to Thea Hale for representing girls who get nervous when they have crushes on guys. I can't relate. That's never happened to me. I never asked a guy to the NFL draft and wasn't sure I asked him on a date or not.
Right.
So I can't relate. But
Right. No.
nice to see.
So there was a no quarter catch crew promo, which I was out of the room for. I could hear, but I could not see what's going on with that.
I got so distracted because they had...
Please tell me. I'm very
I don't know why this cracked me up so much. But in the four corners of the shot, they had like blood spats, as if they were filming it, and there was blood on the camera. But
really?
It's an edited video, so it's not as if they were filming the whole thing with blood on the camera. It was an edited video, and they just chose to put this effect on it very clearly. So I was in hysterics watching it because I was like, they should have cleaned off the camera from all that very uniformly placed blood effect when they were filming this, but then it was an edited video. Anyway, I couldn't watch the contents of the video because I was so distracted by the blood part. But
Louis says they were tiny little droplets.
They were in all four corners, and they were not that tiny. They were like splats in all four corners. Yeah. It's like, when you get like window clings. It was like they put like 4 window clings on there.
That's good. Yeah.
But it was an edited video. I like the no quarter catch club. And I like that their rules are like, we face you and you don't know which ones of us are showing up. That's a fun little idea. It feels like house rules-ish.
Why would Ava Rain agree to that as the general manager? I've booked you in a match.
She's in her early 20s and an idiot. She doesn't know what she's doing. She has no managerial experience.
You can't freebird a non-title. You cannot freebird a non-title. We're not doing that.
Those are their terms.
Well, those terms do not agree with me.
Well, they agree with Ava Rain, who has no managerial experience whatsoever.
Yeah, that's true. Ryan Giacchini thinks they're stretching this whole thing to keep Mello babyface on SmackDown. Honestly, I don't think there's going to be any correlation between the two. I think he will be the heel to end all heels in NXT while also being a babyface versus Austin Theory on there. So,
but he can't keep working both, right? Like, I don't know.
Apparently he can. Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyria signed the contract for their match Vengeance Day. Roxanne saying stuff about how I'm gonna get. You didn't have to claw to get the thing, and you didn't have to blah blah blah. And Lyra's like, I actually made my debut on the night that you won the title, and blah blah.
You didn't have to claw to get the thing. It's funny. She did at least say, like, she acknowledged that her last year has not been good, which is good. So I thought that part was great, that she acknowledged that she never actually lost the title because it was put in that multi-women match, and that she's coming back for it, and she's motivated to for that reason. And Lyra was fine in this, but there was a woman underneath the table, Alex. The entire time.
Yeah, so Roxy and Lyra shook hands, and Lyra left, and Roxanne stood there, and Tatum Paxley came from out of underneath the table, and she
crawled out of the floors like a goth dog.
And then she spine busted Roxy through the table, and then gave Lyra a hug, and then she shoved shoved Tatum to the ground. And what are you doing here? What the hell are you? Oh, hold on. What the hell are you doing here? Why are you here? I have to face my chest to the hard cam while looking at you. It's the thing that she needs to work on. And Okay, we're getting this. Probably. They might have even said it, but they're probably getting a Tatum versus Roxy next week, and
Sure.
all right.
That's the show, everybody.
Mhm.
We got more though. I keep looking up at our super chat doc. It is just titled Feather Boas for our dear scripts, and it makes me laugh every time I look over it.
Jam Beard says Zach Shutter Jr. Jack Shutter Jr.
Creepy
Tim Gray.
horror movie, dickhead. Ugh. No thanks.
Tim Gray says net scapegoat.
Real glass on that browser, I tell you.
Meet Norma says Voodoo has all the Papa Shango matches.
What's Voodoo?
Get it? Voodoo? You don't know what Voodoo
Is that a service? No.
Yes, it's one where like you can rent and buy movies, and also you can keep all the movies that that you own. Whatever. it's Voodoo. Maxine to be.
That's very good.
And T Electric Mayhem says Bridgerton's German suplex.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm. Jesse Ozog says IPOC and Michinoku Video Driver. And Electric Mayhem says the marvelous Mrs. Mariah Maisel.
Very nice. She's great.
Okay.
I'm loving her so far.
She is. Jukebox. Louisville says William Regal sings Without Me by Eminem. All right. There we go. Two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Guess who's back? Back again. Willie's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? I've created a monster because nobody wants to see Steven no more. They want Willie. I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want Willie, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of weed mixed with some hard liquor, some vodka that'll jumpstart my heart quicker. Then a shock when I get shocked at the hospital. By a doctor when I'm not cooperating, when I'm rocking the table while he's operating. You waited this long, now stop debating, because I'm back, sunshine. I'm on the rag and ovulating. I know that you got a job, Miss Cheney, but your husband's heart problem's complicated. So the FCC won't let me be, or let me be me, so let me see. They tried to shut me down on MTV, but it feels so empty without me.
The ad-lib to Sunshine was fantastic. You do a lot. It's a lot of Brit impressions for you.
It's a lot of it.
When you busted the Nigel out the other day, good stuff.
We actually got a couple of sour chats last night. Kylie says, I tried, but I guess WWE Weekly TV isn't for me. PLEs are fun, though, but that's why I have you two. Long live the SGS. Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you, Kylie.
And Jesse Ozog says, to keep up the gimmick, Braun Strowman doing the monologue from Act 2, Scene 2 of Romeo and Juliet. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses, I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in their head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars, as daylight doth a lamp. Her eye in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. Get these hearts, because we're in love.
That one is up there on the favorites, and part of it is because it's the one I think that you crack the most at. As you should, because it's ridiculous.
Okay, good. Jambeard wants Ludwig and Tiffy to sing "Broken" by Seether featuring Amy Lee.
That's such a sad one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do I know, like, do we know which one's the dude and which one's the lady? Because I don't remember this.
You just do verse 1 and I'll do the chorus.
Okay, sounds good. I wanted you to know I love the way you laugh. I want to hold you high and steer your pain away. I want to keep your photograph. I know it serves me well. I want to hold you high and steal your pain.
Because I'm broken when I'm open, and I don't feel like I'm strong enough because I'm broken when I'm lonesome, and I don't feel right when you're gone away.
Thank you.
I can keep going.
We're already
the
over
worst
time.
is over now. Toodles.
Aaron H says, thank you, SGS, for showing me I'm not the only one who hated that Cody Punk segment. Oh, my goodness.
Bro.
I got in so much trouble for that.
You know what? I'm going to say it right here, right now. I know this is a non-topic, but I watch wrestling. The guys talk, watch guys talk a bunch of S and then beat the snot out of each other. I wanted to watch a bunch of people work through their feelings with like 5 different people. I've got sorority sisters for that. Talk a bunch of S, beat someone up. You know why I gave Kid rules? Because he's like, oh, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And then he goes and does it. Very sick of CM Punk. Oh, I was a different guy. He's returning next week. Fight somebody. And not Dominic Mysterio at a house show where nobody sees it. And make your first match with 29 other guys. Beat people up. It's wrestling.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Aaron H says, thank you. Where did that one? Can we have Bron doing Martha's monologue from Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? I don't think it's the same one you asked for, but this was the only one that Luis could find. You're all flops. I am the Earth Mother, and you're all flops. I disgust me. I pass my life in crummy, totally pointless infidelities. Would-be infidelities. That's a laugh. A bunch of boozed up, impotent lunkheads. Martha makes goo-goo eyes, and the lunkheads grin and roll their beautiful, beautiful eyes back and grin some more. And Martha licks her chops, and the lunkheads slap over to the bar to pick up a little courage, and they pick up a little courage, and they bounce back over to old Martha, who does a little dance for them, which heats them all up mentally, and so they slap over to the bar again, pick up a little more courage, and their wives and sweethearts stick their noses up in the air, right through the ceiling sometimes, which sends the lunkheads back to the soda fountain again, where they fuel up some more, while Martha sits there with her dress up over her head, suffocating. You don't know how stuffy it is with your dress up over your head. Suffocating. Get these dresses up over your head.
I didn't know how badly I needed to hear Braun Strowman say goo goo eyes and lunkhead that many times.
Yeah.
I did.
All right. Oh.
Well, that's our show, everyone. We have no surprise guests. Nobody else coming in. Oh, my God. It's Ricky Rainbow. Hello, Richard.
Orion Ben says, Ricky Rainbow sings This Could Be Anywhere in the World.
Hell yeah. Alexis on fire.
By someone called Alexis, who is unfortunately ablaze. Someone should find a fire extinguisher before Alexis. This town has its claws buried in my neck. This town, it takes lives without mercy, without hate. These streets are distress. The sun suffocates behind darkened skies. The grass is growing on top of my feet. I'm sinking, won't be too long before I'm deep to run. The lineup seems endless underneath the salvation signs. We are the dead ones, we are the lost ones. We are the bend before the break. Our steps seal our fate. because this city is haunted by ghosts from broken homes, because this city is haunted, and there's no hope left for these souls. Thank you.
Great song. Dallas Green rules. I prefer the City and Color stuff, but sometimes I like College Kate, Metalhead Kate comes out.
Is Alexis still on fire?
I don't know. I'll send a couple text messages, see what I can find.
All right. Okay. So then Ali Cease wanted Jambeard super chatted this song, but requested by Ali Cease. It's Sky's the Limit, Sasha Banks's theme. Had a dream I had it made, and now there's nothing dragging down me, yeah? Because I gone, pushed it all out the way. Just starting to break in, I found my way, yeah? Now I'm made, nobody gonna take it, because I gone, pushed them all out the way. I had a dream that I made it here in the spotlight, woke up, see my life in the shade, now that's not quite. Hustling every day, I'm on my way to the sharp light. It's destiny to be bigger, yeah, I got fight. And I've had visions of sitting high on my old gold throne, never listening to criticism, I built my own. From the bottom, I've gotten myself into my own zone, never stop, and I made it, and now I ain't going home. Had I dreamed I made it, had it made, and now there's nothing dragging down me, yeah, because I gone, push it all out the way, destined to break in, I found my way, yeah. Now I'm made, nobody gonna take it, because I'm gone, push them all out the way, I have. Thank you.
Ricky, before we go, what are your thoughts on Murder Grandpa versus Mop Edge? Pretty wild little match that got made, huh?
There's a grandpa who
There's a
murders
grandpa.
people.
Mm-hmm.
He murders people. Is he
Well,
in
in this
jail?
case, a mop.
He's gonna murder a poor mop. What did the mop ever do to the grandpa?
Well,
Is this like a premeditated thing, or is it
violent form of wrestling?
Is it in the heat of passion?
It's a little of both, honestly.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well,
he hasn't really murdered people. He's just very violent in the ring, and he's older now, so people call him Murder Grandpa.
Oh, I see. So this is a wrestling thing.
It is a wrestling thing, yes.
I thought you were telling me my granddad had gone off his nut and started hacking people up with an axe. Because the last time that happened, they put him away. I didn't know he was out.
No. This is different. This is a wrestling match, and not your grandpa, just a different.
No, not my granddad.
Right.
Oh, right.
Your granddad is. I don't know anything about your granddad, to be honest, because I don't know anything about you.
I was confused.
It's fair. Hey, it's Nigel McGuinness, a fellow Brit's birthday today. Or are you a Brit?
I don't know, but I remember we have established that I do know Nige.
You do know Nige.
Nige.
Yeah.
Or do I? You never know.
I don't know.
You never know. Are you going to keep cool, gabagoos, or are you not? You never know. Does everything suck? Everything sucks. It does. That's not an enigma. It's true.
We know that one for sure.